It's the first real chance. Superbly taken, and he keeps up this tremendous scoring record. Tewu Awoniyi scored 2 in the quarter-final and adds 1 more in the semi, through on goal and took it really well. Sweden defensively caught out the through ball and the first time finish. Okone makes space. That could be that. Samuel Okone puts Nigeria a step closer to another world final and could have put an end to Sweden's World Cup hopes. Having got a second, chasing a third, and are in. Point blank finish, the smile to the face of Eze. Keeper left badly exposed.
What a performance in that match by the Golden Eaglets, the Under-17 World Cup currently going on in the United Arab Emirates. We're joined now by Nnamdi Obayan, who is a sports journalist. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Thank you for having me.
But everyone hoping they can go one better than this last one they've got. But an interesting performance so far, and but yeah, now we're at this stage.
A lot of positives, but just to state from the word go that I'm always very, very lukewarm when it comes to our age grade football. My reasons, I've always made it clear. Yes, this team, everybody's talking about how relatively younger they are than all the teams we've been sending. But I don't know if you were following the build-up to this tournament. We had a situation where 8 players failed, MRI scan, a lot of redrafting has been done. But it's good to see that we have a better mix now. There's nobody from the Nigerian Premier League in the team. It's all academies. A couple of players are recognized from Nath Boys. They were the winners of the Lagos Youth League. We have a player from Chelsea's academy. We have decent young players. So with this team, it does look bright. And without knowing it, all of a sudden we're chasing history. Nigeria are 3-time winners. They want to become 4-time winners. The Omens are, I don't know if they are for or against us. We've always won in Asia, in China, Japan. We've always been very, very Korea.
History might repeat itself. Yeah?
History might repeat itself. But let's not get carried away by the fact that we defeated Mexico 6-1 in the group stage. Since then, they've improved greatly, and form can change. The same way we drew 3-3 with Sweden in the group stage and defeated them 3-0 yesterday. We shouldn't think that because we won 6-1 against Mexico, all of a sudden we would overrun them. But do we have the ammunition? Yes, we do.
Okay, let me even take you back to this build-up to this game, how those who failed the MRI test. But you know, we have people who have said, but wait a minute, even cutting them some slack or giving them the benefit of the doubt, I say, well, some genuinely think that there might have been cases of innocent misrepresentation in some of these matters, because take for instance, you organize competitions year in, year out for age groups. You get their data, you get all of those. Where is central base or database where you upload all this so that if anyone sees anyone somewhere, you could just quickly type some of these names and then it pops up? And so we don't have that central database. What do governments plan with? Deficient. And so the system is inherently deficient.
Well, we have to start somewhere, and that was why I was particularly pleased. I know we have Iheanacho, I think he's with Megap Academy in Benin. We know the academies they come from. We can trace. Remember the case of Fortune Chukwudi, when the coach of his own academy came back to say, look, this guy is old. So it's good that we have these details right now. And speaking of a player like Iheanacho, Nigeria has been crying for a real number 10. It's too early to get carried away, but I like what I've been seeing.
He's got the potential.
He definitely has it. I like what I've been seeing. Not only is he our top goal scorer with 5 goals, he has top assists, 7 assists. That's what you want from the number 10.
And he has those incisive passes that you see Emeka do.
He's a brilliant midfielder, and that's what you want. Someone who can create space for his teammates, and when things are not happening, take it upon himself to take the bull by the horns and lead the team. Musa Mohammed, a right full back, the captain, another fantastic player. I noticed his work rate is superb. down that right flank, and it makes it easy for wingers to cut in and become extra men in the middle. And because Nigeria, you know, through all our teams, we like to hold on to the ball, that extra touch. So the more people there are around to pass, the better for us. It's been an all-round good showing. I mean, they've conceded 5 and scored 23. They've always been prolific. I remember when we were counting their goals, was it 94 goals in one calendar year? When they were playing friendlies, I was like, what is wrong with this under-17 team? And they've been chopped and changed so many times. People have been dropped, people have been picked, and they still maintain that very free scoring form. If you look at even this tournament, I mean, even when they drew with Sweden, it was 3-3. They've won 6-1. They've won 4-1. They've won 3-0. They are not exactly goal shy.
I mean, looking at Awoni now, who just scored. I mean, after Isaac
he has 4 goals. After Iheanacho, he's next with 4 goals.
Wow.
And he and Iheanacho and Eze seem to have this telepathic understanding between them. I like what happens up front. I like the little triangles that they play up front.
Look at that fantastic pass. So you see that incisive run in between the defense.
And at the right time, take that pass too early, the defense caught it out. 1 second later, he's offside. So it's all about the striker watching the line and the playmaker knowing exactly when to release the ball. As soon as he saw the man make the run, he dropped it, and very quick decision making, no dilly-dallying. It's maybe that's why they've not been goal shy, because they are very, very happy to pour forward the large numbers. My only fear now is that complacency. We've beaten Mexico 6-1. We can do it again. Mexico have gotten much better as the tournament has gone on. They've put Brazil and Argentina to the sword easily. They are the defending champions. They are coming. They want to become the first team to retain their title. They're joining Nigeria, Brazil, and I think Argentina as people who have been in 2 consecutive finals. But Brazil are the people who have defended. Nigeria is in their 7th final.
Wow.
So this is really more or less our tournament. Of course,
but these young guys don't look like they're about to be complacent from what we've seen so far.
Anything can happen, stage fright, anything. And already the talk is getting too much. We're hearing, oh, he's like Igbinobia in 85, he's like Oruma in 93, oh, this Iheanacho is fantastic. And we need to calm down at this point. I remember that it's a developmental competition. What we really want is to see them coming to the Super Eagles. Remember 2009, Switzerland came to Nigeria, won the tournament. That team has grown and formed the core of the national team who have qualified for this World Cup. Something you don't normally hear, Switzerland qualifying for the World Cup. Their players are finding themselves everywhere. Zedan Shaqiri is even threatening to break into Bayern's first team and displace Toni Kroos. So that's what I want to see. I want to see, like the way I saw Switzerland grow, the way I saw Brazil grow, the way we saw Spain grow in Nigeria and go on to win the World Cup.
But
we saw Switzerland grow.
Those countries, they've got a technique, they've got the institution, they've got the facility, they've got a program that those young lads have. They go through to develop.
Yes.
Do we?
To be fair to us, the only thing I know we have is let's call it, we have our school of football, our own method, our own school of thought of football. We know what Nigerian football is. It's the extra touch, it's skill, it's flair. If you wanted to summarize Nigerian football, it's the extra touch. That is what it is.
But we need
to find a way of maximizing it, because used properly, the extra touch creates space. It draws people to the ball holder and creates freedom for other people. Used poorly, however, it makes you very easy to mark. So what we need to do is take these boys through that school. Unfortunately, a lot of them will be thrown to different clubs. As the tournament is over, some will find themselves in Russia, Uzbekistan, Vietnam.
And they'll be forgotten.
The lucky ones will find their way to Western Europe, maybe Belgium, Holland. If you're really lucky, England, backwaters of Spain, Germany, because there's no proper structure, no agents to properly negotiate their contracts. It will all become about money. And that's what my greatest fear is. These academies want to make money.
I mean, you know, lots of people always ask, look, how come that we've not been able to bridge that gap between our age grade competitions in terms of how we perform and at the senior level? For instance, now, look at the character of the Super Eagles. And some coaches tell you that towards the last 20 minutes, the Super Eagles tend to switch off. I mean, that's how they play before. And so when teams come to play Nigeria, they know that, listen, no problems. They're usually not pacey. They like to take the game stride, thinking it's a stroll in the park. But this young lads, I mean, young lads, indeed. And you see how the last 2 goals, when he came, you'd have thought that the energy level would have dropped, but it wasn't.
There's what we can call the acceptable reason, and there's my own reason. The acceptable reason would be that continuity. We've not been able to continue you check the ratio of players from the youth team that make it to the national team. My own reason is that perhaps they are too old at that time. That's my own reason. So you have players who have not exactly gone through the system. Most of the players are players who are in form at that point in time, trained by other clubs, academies, trained in different parts of the world, and we benefit from other people's hard work, make a Super Eagles team. So for us to bridge that gap now, we've seen a crop where, like, let's do what Portugal did. From the Luis Figo set, they've kept some consistency like that. So we can monitor, we know Figo set, we know Ronaldo set and Nani set, and we're looking at the new set coming. So we need to do the same thing. We like this crop, fine, start working them up. They've done under 17, under 23, national team, chip chop, put people in, drop people where you need to, but keep a core of the team so that there's some, they know each other and there's some core to build a team around. That's what we need to do, because that complacency you mentioned, it's probably due to the fact that there's no inner motivation. They don't really know each other. You won't have that from these boys, because with all the chopping and changing, they've been going everywhere together. They've been in the same places, training together. So they're not professionals. They're academy boys, so they can keep them together for long spells.
All right, we hope that they eventually go ahead and lift that trophy one more time for the country. But let's switch now to the UEFA Champions League, and interesting matchup going through yesterday. I mean, look at the Manchester City. Eventually, what a whitewash it was.
A very brutal result.
Wow.
And it's the kind of result you want, because I'm sure they're still smarting from losing at home to Bayern Munich. It's the kind of response you want from a team who have said they're going to do better in Europe, and they've qualified. In all fairness to them, they have qualified. On paper, I never understood why they couldn't do well in Europe, because on paper they have one of the deepest squads, one of the best teams. I expect them to be challenging the top teams, but they don't seem to be doing that.
How about Real and Juventus? How did you see that one?
Well, I think Italian stubbornness met Spanish flair, because Madrid at a point were threatening to run away with the game, but some good discipline in the midfield, wise heads like Pirlo, and I think Paul Pogba, who is day by day making himself a mainstay in that team, as well as Arturo Vidal. They are the core of that team. Everything else around them is peripheral. That's the core of the team, and as long as it's intact, they do their job. What I will say is that what I picked up, I was watching Gareth Bale. I think since he started scoring for Madrid, his body language is changing. He's becoming more decisive. He's getting more involved with play, and trust me, Madrid will get more dangerous, because now Ronaldo and Bale are setting up each other. It's become a competition for who can give the other more assists, and that's what you don't want for a team like Real Madrid, because they will hurt you, and they will hurt you badly. Wow. Juventus, all credit to them. They too had their spells, and in the first half, Iker Casillas actually kept Madrid in that match. There were headers from Llorente when he was free. Tevez had a fantastic save made off his shot. Casillas kept them in the game. Second half, Buffon had to do the same for Juve. So it was a very even match, and I think the scoreline was as fair as you could get.
Okay, well, that's how far we can go today. Thank you for coming on, Nnamdi. Well, we'll return in just a moment to take a look at more comments coming from you. So please join us again if you can.